Hello and welcome to an open source live code hangout. I'm testing out a new setup today, so please bear with me if there's any technical difficulties. I'm multi-streaming here, but we'll continue our normal format, doing live code, working on open source projects, shifting to a little bit of game development though, whereas we've previously have been working mostly on web applications. There's an open source game engine that you probably have heard of, or possibly, called Minetest. It's very similar to Minecraft. They were created around the same time and have been developed, for many years. Let's see. Just for reference, though, it was originally created in 2010, so 13 years old. We're running currently Minetest 5.8. That was released recently. There's a few fundamental differences between Minetest and Minecraft, the most prominent being that Minetest is fully open source and is primarily a game engine. In recent releases, they've switched to focusing on engine development. It's written in C++ and uses an existing open source game engine to build a voxel-based world exploration and crafting game. We will primarily be writing Lua code. It has a modding language framework that allows us to write Lua to change the behavior of the game. So we won't have to write C++. Lua is a fairly small and friendly language. It's good for modding and game development in particular. It's because it can be embedded in projects. Here you can see some of the graphic style Minetest, very similar to Minecraft. The gameplay also very similar, but the engine doesn't come with any gaming mechanics in terms of most of the functionality is provided by mods. There's a core world generator and some basic biomes and physics and things and heads-up display and inventory. Those are the essential components, but a lot of what you see here, these tracks and particular textures, of course, are provided by third-party modders. We'll take a quick look at ContentDB from Minetest. It's a website that hosts Minetest mods, games, texture packs, and other interesting things, I suppose. I don't know what the random is. It just picks a random element. Here we can see some Lua code in the background. Mods are modifications of the game to provide additional functionality like animals, 3D armor, dragons. We can see automobiles, interior decorations, hang gliders, villages, lots of interesting things the players are making and sharing. These are pretty much all open source. They're not all published in a way that you can access the source. Sometimes they're a bit hidden, but that's generally the spirit of the game. A game in Minetest consists of several mods. They put together mods to present a certain type of player experience, even things like playing chess. But some mods are emulating Minecraft, so players familiar with Minecraft would feel at home in there. But some of them are even just inventing their own sort of world and mechanics that are kind of deviating from this crafting and exploration. I haven't gone too far into this territory of exploring other players' games, We have played on a good Mineclone server. There's a couple of those. So if we want to just try it out, you can load Minetest, which by default no longer ships with the game at all. So you have to install this Minetest game. I've installed mine at a previous version, and you can install games with this plus symbol here. Start one locally. You can host it on your local network, or join an online server. There's a bunch of online servers that have various numbers of players, slots available, and players playing online at any given time. We can see some of the more popular ones: Nico's World, Versus Town, Capture the Flag, Blocky Survival. And so if you want to get a good idea of what the game's capable of, it's oftentimes just good to start on an online multiplayer server. They've put the effort in to curate the mods and create a playing experience. But since we're focused on development here, we're going to look at how we can create our own Minetest mods and games. So the power of Minetest is the ability to easily develop games without the need to create your own voxel graphics, voxel algorithms, or fancy networking code. So yes, the game engine provides all of this for us. Games are a collection of mods which work together to make a cohesive game. A good game has a consistent underlying theme and direction. It could be a classic crafter miner with hard survival elements, or it could be a space simulation game with steampunk automation aesthetic. Game design is a complex topic and actually a whole field of expertise. It's beyond the scope of this book. By the way, this is the Minetest modding book by Ruben Wardy and Shara. And we're in chapter 19, creating games. I've done a bit of Lua scripting. I've created a chat command mod that plays some sound effects. We need to get that back into the content DB. But we're going to take a mod we just created yesterday called Minetest Emotions. Resinde Tech created this one. It's been published in the Minetest DB. I must not be in the... must have had a filter on there. Here it is. And we're just going to create a game and put this in there. And this gives you some emotion blocks. Our overarching goal is to create an educational game called Open Learning Quest. But like everything, education is a stepwise practice. It's a continuing practice, and it takes a little bit of sustained effort. We're going to start small and build on our experience. So we'll need a game directory, a game configuration file, menu configuration, Minetest, and some mods. The only thing that's required in the mods is a mods folder. Game conf and menu icon are recommended. Alright, so we'll consider making an icon. We want to keep as much API compatibility with Minetest game as is convenient, as it'll make porting mods to another game much easier. Minetest game, this book is maybe a little bit outdated, but this is, I think, what they're referring to, that at one point shipped with the Minetest, as I mentioned. Create a simple game where a player gains points. So I was hoping they would actually show an example of how to create a mod, but a game. Game.conf. So we can look for what would be included in game.conf. So what I think I'll do is open VS Code. And Let's see if we can locate the game directory. Let's just do a test, actually. I don't want to kind of commit to a particular structure for this game yet. All right, so actually I'm gonna... So I think we can look at an existing game in ContentDB and look at their game.conf. That, or see if there's some documentation. All right. So it looks like there is test game, game.conf. Just to see if we can get something. To show up in the game menu, and then we'll need to create a license, screenshot, settings types, schematic tables. Wow. This is for, okay, this is for the server settings, so to speak. I don't know what a lot of these things mean. Interesting. Now, it recommended that we put an icon in there. Where? Oh, darn it. Oh, here it is. Ah, under menu. Okay. And let's see here. See if we can just generate something. All right. Looks a bit more detailed than 32 by 32 pixels, maybe. Maybe not. Save image as. There's a web piece. We'll have to convert that. Home. Snap. Minetest. Current. One thing we'll have to do is create a kind of alias to this, so I can create it and develop this in my home directory, but have a symbolic link to within the Minetest game directory, which is prone to change. The current version can change. All right, so I've got icon web p, but I think it needs to be icon.ping. Hey, how you doing? It's a bit dark. Is that Tino Lin? Welcome to the chat. I'll have to adjust the font size there. It seems kind of small. Just kind of tweaking the settings here to keep the stream interactive and add chat, but it's not as kind of nice as I was thinking. You play any games, any open source games, or do any game development? All right, so we'll need to convert this to a ping file. Open with, let's see. I'm not sure. And let's see, what is the 1024 by 1024? Okay, so a bit bigger than 32 by 32. I don't know if it needs to be 32 by 32. I think it should be kind of small though. So I could kind of cut out a tree or downscale this. What happens if I even just image scale? Well, let's just first export this as a ping file and see if it can even render this size of a ping file. If it can, we're good to go. You know, and that means we can have a nicer logo potentially. All right, export, and I think it was called icon.ping, but if not, I'll rename that. All right, icon ping, header and background. Okay, yeah, this is cool. It should be the background as well, I think. All right, so I can duplicate it, I think. Copy and paste it. Rename it as background. And I don't know what header will do. see if we can get another nice image here to differentiate the background, the icon, and the header. I think the header, if I go back to Minetest, we have probably this is the header. The background can be animated as far as I understand. Hey, this is actually really good. I really like this. Wow. This is sort of like what we're after. This aesthetic, the feeling of the game, colorful, being in a rich educational environment, voxel-based art. This is really nice. All right, so let's hop back over to the, let's see, we'll go back over to GIMP real quick. I hope one day they change the name. Oh well. Okay, we're good to go there. And we got our background and stuff. Now I believe if I close Minetest and we reopen it, we have a new game. Look at that. And 1024 by 1024 was fine. Ooh, nice. Hey, pretty good, pretty good. It looks a bit like, I don't know, dithered or something. Something happened to the graphics. Let's see. Did the original look like that? Yeah, maybe it did. You can use an upscaler, but hey, it gets the point across. It's an educational game. So yes, did I close Minetest? So let's go ahead and open Minetest again. And somehow I can define the, if I just start the game, create a game here. Whoops, sorry, I'm on the wrong screen, my bad. So I just, I'm under our game here. I'm just starting a world. I clicked on new world and just give it a name and a seed. And we we do have some mods installed from other games that we've played here, and I might include those. I'd like to include them in the game definition though. But let's just see if we can get in there and play something if I host the game now. So it looks like yes. We do have a worldless game. Interesting. Invalid setting name. Load mod, my mod. Mapgen alias Mapgen stone is invalid. So there's some problems there. Alright, so we don't need the image editor for now. So clearly more to do. We've got our game conf. It doesn't specify anything. This book was really not actually too helpful on how to create a game. So, oh well. Can't complain. I thought it would be a little bit of a tutorial though. So the Minetest game reference seems to be pretty good. And the menu, the mods, what do they got in the mods? So it does come with some things, but it should at least be able to generate a world. Let's see if ChatGPT can help us. So I'm creating a Minetest game. I have a basic setup. Here's my game.conf. So I'm just telling it we only have sky, no terrain is generated. There's no. Creating a basic Minetest game involves several steps, including setting up essential components like the map generator and basic nodes blocks. Your game.conf file is a good start, but there are a few more components you need to add. Here's a basic guide to get you started. Create a basic directory structure. Mods, gameconf, minetestconf optional, textures optional. The mods directory will contain all the mods, including the default ones for your game, So perhaps to have some biomes or things to explore, we might need a mod. Add basic mods. At a minimum, you should add the default mod. Have a default mod. This usually contains basic nodes like stone, dirt, and tree and basic tools. You can use the default mod from Minetest game as the starting point. That's kind of what I was hoping to do. Mod.conf depends equals. Okay, default. There we go. So let's see if that helps. Now I don't know if I have to define a list or just individual dependencies as lines. Depends default. Okay, so it is a list. When Minetest loads your mod, it will ensure that these dependencies are loaded first. It's crucial if your mod uses nodes, items, and such. So I don't know if I need to install that then. Let's see. So for example, select mods. The default is not kind of specified here. So maybe, but it did pick up the dependency there. Okay, that's good. Cancel that. Let's try hosting the game, see if it changed anything. Nope, still falling through the world. Delete that world. Try it again. And using a map gen, and it should have everything. Create that. Host the game. Still falling through empty space. All right, so that's a problem. There's still no terrain generated. Let me read this a little bit closer though. So we have a basic directory structure. I don't have any mods, but I'll create that folder. At minimum, you should have a default mod. Map generator is properly configured. MG name 6. Minetest.conf. Minetest.conf. We haven't been messing with it. So it was optional though. MG name v6. But I think we should use v7. Check your map generator settings. Ensure that the map generator is properly configured. Whoa. in your Minetest conf file in the root directory of your Minetest installation or game folder. You should have that. This sets the map generator version 6. You can try different ones like version 7 or flat, etc. Verify default, the mod content. Double check that the default mod or whichever mod you are using for terrain is correctly installed and contains the necessary mapgen code. This mod should include the definitions for nodes, biomes, etc. So you can download the Minetest. And let me double check here. They have mods. And did I see default here? Default, sure it is. Crazy. So even to have a world, you have to like have to download this and redistribute it. It would be nice if it were in its own repo. Minetest game is a simple and peaceful sandbox game with no real goals or built-in enemy mobs. Provides a basic gameplay experience out of the box. Is best played with mods. Minetest game is currently in maintenance only mode, meaning it will not see new gameplay features or anything else that breaks compatibility. Interesting. So it's actually surprisingly difficult to create a custom Minetest game. But let's take a look real quick. For example, well, these are all pretty complicated. The Minetest game license is CC by SA. Source code is GPL. Well, the intermediary step is we're just going to create a server. I've already got this set up on the server. I'd like to basically install the mod that we just recently created, this emotions mod. So we can demo this though, at least. If I go back to this default game, and actually we go to the content DB, browse online content. Here's the new Minetest emotions. We'll start a game with mod test enabled. Selecting the mods. And then join the world. We have a couple of custom mod blocks that we've apparently removed, so those are no longer usable. But if I look here, we now have some nice emotion blocks. Very cool. So the idea for this mod is to help give a fun way of exploring emotional intelligence. Basically, kind of, how are you feeling today? And some kind of concrete, item that you can place in your world. You can talk with your parent or teacher about how you're feeling, or how does that make you feel when you saw that player did that. And for young kids, and especially, but even adults, we need to learn to identify emotions and not get swept away with them. Recognize them as visitors, but they're important visitors, so we want to respect them, but ensure that they're also allowing us to maintain control. And often they're really abstract. Yeah, so this is really great art. Victor made these, and it's a good start. So I guess what we can shift over to is setting up the game server. I'm clearly not going to make any headway on the game development. That was a bit, even the game mod is a really it was very complicated. I'm just trying to think. We will need to install the Minetest game on our server and then load these other mods. So we'll have to figure this out. So really quick, I will log into the hosting server. Be right back. All right, thanks for your patience. So we're not going to be able to write any code today during this session, but I would like to try to get a game set up. Alright, we will leave that. Try starting the game here. Game Minetest not found. To run Minetest server, you need to select the game ID. So yeah, I think it was just Minetest game. All right, let's try this. Startup Minetest game. I guess it just saves automatically. Let's try it again. Minetest game not found. So what I think we can do is, I'd like to git clone this. I don't know if that'll exactly work. We can download it. The console doesn't seem to be working very good here. Might be able to do this though. Minetest game, if I specify this package under startup. Minetest, case sensitive, Minetest game. Let's try that. Let's try their default suggestion, mineclone 2 by Wuzzy. Trying to get something running here. Strange. Okay. Oh yeah, this is also need to change. All right, here's what we're gonna do. All right, so that's just not gonna work. I can't SSH there. Not a big deal. git clone or something. But let's just start here. So I can download this. Just reconsidering the hosting situation, but I don't want to fight with that right now. Download zip. Open zip. Extract to download. Hopefully this will just work. Not too big of an upload. Folder is empty. Weird. Why can't I drag and drop there? Well, let's try to open another dolphin. Downloads. Can I just... Won't let me drag and drop there. Huh. I was able to create a folder. Maybe Dolphin's not the best FTP client. That's really weird though. Okay, I do have FileZilla. There's that. It's been updated. One more time. Let's do this. This feels a bit old school. I'd prefer just to, it's just server management. So this is, of course, you've got to use a tool to remotely access and manage the server, but I'd prefer SSH. I'm surprised this Pine host doesn't mention connecting with SSH, and I tried it. On port 22. That host. My username over there. Establish an FTP connection and SFTP server. Please select the proper protocol. Alright, how in the heck? Okay. One moment, sorry for the delay here. Cool. Got something. Now it's doing it. No failures yet. Let's see if we are able to do this successfully. So now, apparently this button doesn't work. But Minetest game should work. Successful. Everything is done. Start the server. Marked as running. Cool. Copy that to clipboard. Start the game. Let the game begin. $30,001. Briley is my name, and I apparently joined somebody else's game. Square one. Looked cool though. Looked good. Let me do that again. Damn it. So when I put a server in, my IP address in, there it is. We are now in our server. Tervetuloa. This is the perfect spawn point. Really beautiful Finnish countryside next to, we got some birch trees, some sort of pine trees, and then a jungle. A jungle. Excellent. Now, I'd like to just add one mod to the server. So, let me think here for a second. To specify server mods in Minetest, you'll need to use the world.mt file, not the Minetest conf. The world.mt is specified for each world. Excellent. Load mod name true to specify mods. All right, so what we're going to do is find our emotions mod. And we will download it, 4 kilobytes. Extract it to the downloads. Upload it. To the mods directory. Then Minetest emotions. Load mod. Save it. So this is a nice little text editor here. I wish the console worked. If that just worked, it would be good to go. Oh, it does, but it's not what I thought. It's not the console I thought it was. All right, back to Minetest. Server restarted. And oh my gosh. Here we are. Creative. No. Yes. Huh. Yes. I'm angry. I'm happy. And let's place them to greet new players. Now, I don't know if this is the spawn. Or what, but that's good progress. It's a nice little lakeside spawn area, which is part of our narrative. You start out sort of at a beach, and you might go through some woods. Whoa. And stumble upon a village. So yes, so that's probably pretty good progress for today. It's been a little bit over an hour. Didn't write any code, but we're working with some code we wrote this last week. We're creating some mods, starting an open source game. It seems good. It's going to be more of a mod collection and server at this point. That means we will be writing mods on this stream though. And this has been pretty good progress to set up a simple world and start it out with our custom mod. So yeah, thanks for stopping by the stream. Timolin, it's nice to have chatters stop by. There's no code currently, but if you'd like to check out our progress, you can go to github.com/openlearningquest, and we'll be placing our mods under this organization. And again, we're trying to build an educational experience using an open source game engine. So we don't have to focus too much on engine mechanics, and we can kind of come up with some ideas about how teachers and parents can use these engaging games for educational purposes. We're going to be heavily drawing inspiration from Minetest EDU, but we want to do this, Minecraft EDU, but we want to do this fully open source in Minetest. I'll be mixing those two names up quite often, I suspect. But again, Minetest is fully open source. You don't have to have a Microsoft account or any of that stuff. Just download it, play it, join a public server, or create your own. All the code is modifiable, and I believe it's got really rich modding capabilities. And we're working to have our own server up and running shortly. So thanks again for stopping by. I hope you're doing well, and have a great day.